Tonight, arguing for an officer's dismissal. Lawyers for Guelph Police make their case at a disciplinary hearing. An appeal to overturn a Ponzi scheme conviction denied. An update on the Daniel P. Reeve case, one of Waterloo Region's largest ever fraud cases. Plus, bringing pet pampering
It's a very essential service
to the masses.
It's good for the owner, it's good for the dog, and like the students, like I said, like it's the best way to learn.
The low-cost program blending learning
I don't think you can learn this career without having that experience.
and love.
Good evening. Can an officer who admitted to assaulting a vulnerable member of the public return to his job with Guelph Police? That's the question the service's lawyer posed at the penalty hearing of Constable McArthur today. And a warning, this story does contain video of the assault at the center of this case. CTV's Krista Simpson joins us now from the West End Community Center in Guelph. That's where this hearing has been unfolding this week. Krista.
Tony, yesterday, McArthur's lawyer made the case that he should be allowed to return to his job. Today, the lawyer for the Guelph Police Service argued McArthur should be dismissed. This is what Jessica Barrow, the lawyer representing the Guelph Police Service, describes as the aggressive assault of a boy who is defenseless to that assault. Constable McArthur striking a teen handcuffed to a hospital bed. The restraints there to protect the teen from harming himself, Barrow told the hearing, saying he was not at risk of harming the officers in the room. The assault happened in 2016. McArthur pleaded guilty in court in 2018, and now, nearly a decade after the incident happened, the police service is still trying to fire him. This, now his second Police Services Act penalty hearing after the findings of the first, that he should be dismissed, were overturned on appeal. In her closing submissions, Barrow called the incident egregious and asked the hearing officer to consider the question, can the community tolerate and trust the return of this individual to policing? Barrow argued that a member of the public being assaulted by an on-duty officer is a fundamental breach of public trust. Barrow also outlined how in 2008, McArthur was also charged with assault in a different on-duty incident. If this was Constable McArthur's first offense, we wouldn't be here, Barrow suggested, saying it indicates that the 2016 assault wasn't an isolated incident or out of character. On Tuesday, McArthur's lawyer argued at the time of the 2016 assault, McArthur was suffering from undiagnosed, untreated post-traumatic stress disorder, developed over years of policing, but largely triggered by the 2013 death of his colleague, Constable Jennifer Kovach, who was responding to his call for backup when her cruiser hit a Guelph transit bus. Barrow noted the police service does not dispute the PTSD diagnosis, but they do not agree with the defense's argument that McArthur hit the teen due to a symptom of hypervigilance and an instinct to protect his female colleagues, saying that suggestion makes no sense. Barrow says McArthur got angry, overreacted, and committed assault. Barrow noted McArthur initially told hospital staff that the teen's injuries were self-inflicted, and it was hospital staff that raised concerns, checked the video, and ultimately reported what happened to police. Barrow says, in spite of McArthur's guilty plea in court, he hasn't shown remorse or full acceptance of responsibility. McArthur's lawyer says he's gone through treatment and rehabilitation since and is ready to return to frontline policing. Barrow argued rehabilitation potential is not a trump card. Barrow says McArthur's credibility is irreparably damaged and his continued employment as a police officer is untenable. The hearing will continue on Thursday when McArthur's defense will make reply submissions to what the Guelph Police Service lawyer said today. After that, the hearing officer will have to go through the extensive materials in this case. It's expected he'll make a written decision at some point in the future. Tony.
All right, Krista Simpson joining us live from Guelph with the latest on that hearing. Krista, thank you. And next, a major development from the courts today. The second sexual assault trial of businessman Frank Stronach has been pushed back to next year. Right now, the 93-year-old is awaiting a decision in his Toronto sexual assault case. He was then scheduled to stand trial in Newmarket in the fall. But court heard today that the jury trial will now begin in May of 2027. Stronach was charged in 2024 with 18 offenses involving 13 complainants, but the case was split in two later that year. The Toronto trial involved 12 charges from 7 complainants, but prosecutors have since decided to only proceed with 7 charges linked to 4 complainants. Stronach has denied wrongdoing. Time for a check on the weather. Let's head over to Ashley Bacon in studio. I have 4 words for you. No, 5 words for you. This is more like it.
Oh, is it ever, Tony? What a beautiful day we've had here in Waterloo Region.
It's great.
I was saying to Leanne earlier, I went out on our lunch break with just a t-shirt on. The first time I've been able to do that all year. I don't know about you guys at home, but I feel the cold. So when it's finally in the 20 zone, I am happy, happy, happy. As we take a look at our satellite radar, you can see there's not a lot going on. Great news, because we're going to have clear skies for the next day or so. We should start to see some precipitation moving back into the region around Friday afternoon, but until then, we are looking at sunny skies ahead. As we take a look at what's happening right now, very comfortable 20 degrees, still almost patio weather, Tony, but a northwest wind at 15 kilometers an hour is feeling quite nice. All around the region, still very warm, 22 in Windsor, 10 in Sarnia, so a little cooler there, 17 in Toronto. So overall, conditions feeling more summer-like today than spring-like, Tony, but we might have a dip in those temperatures coming in this weekend. I'll have those details coming up.
All right, put a pin in that patio topic. We'll talk about that later. Thanks, Ash. Less than a week after announcing its purchase, the Ontario government has sold its controversial private jet. Premier Doug Ford says the plane was sold to Bombardier for exactly what the government paid, nearly $29 million. CTV's Siobhan Morris has the latest.
All right, look at right here, guys. It was around this time last week the Ford government was finalizing the $29 million purchase of a Bombardier jet. Then came roaring public anger, plans to give the plane up, and a defense of the decision. At a speaking event in Toronto Wednesday,
I can announce we sold the plane for the same price right back to Bombardier and said, okay, you take it back.
A 10-year-old 12-seat Challenger similar to this one. Bombardier confirms it has bought the jet back from the government. They won't talk money, citing a confidentiality policy.
This is easy to settle. Just show us the bills.
The Premier has promised to make the details public.
In terms of the actual documents and appropriately and as the time frame allows, when it happens, they'll be disclosed.
But the government isn't ready to lay it all out right now. NDP leader Marit Stiles has asked the Auditor General to do a value for money audit of the plane purchase. Shelley Spence's schedule already full for the rest of the year. Doug Ford has made clear he still thinks Ontario needs a jet.
Time is money, and that's what it comes down to.
Stressing the plane wasn't intended for his use alone, something not mentioned in the government's first statements.
Fly firefighters up, it was for Ontario Corps, it was for OPP when they have to send a tactical team.
Many smaller communities the Premier's talked about reaching aren't equipped to land a Challenger.
He sold the plane because he got caught. But now with FOI changes, with Bill 5, he's not going to get caught.
For opposition parties, selling the plane back doesn't mean the story's over.
He bought a luxury private jet when people are hurting. And that's the most important thing. That's the most important thing for all of us to remember. We're not going to let him forget it.
That was our Queen's Park reporter, Siobhan Morris, with that story. And a war of words today between Canada and the U.S. as trade talks heat up. The Americans are citing certain irritants before CUSMA negotiations can begin. The Prime Minister responded by saying, quote, "We have some on our side as well." CTV's Mike LeCouture now with more on the sticking points and what it might mean for the deal.
They just treat us unfairly at every margin they possibly can.
The U.S. Commerce Secretary describing the trading relationship with Canada to fellow American lawmakers. And Howard Lutnick once again brought up a key gripe.
It is outrageous that Canada will not put U.S. spirits on the shelf It is insulting.
Prime Minister Mark Carney pushed back on any suggestion that Canada has to make concessions to get back to the negotiating table.
It's not a case of the United States dictates the terms. We have the negotiation. We can come to a mutually successful outcome. It will take some time.
A prudent strategy, according to this trade lawyer.
I think where Canada is drawing a line right now is this idea that we're going to give away the house before we even sit down to negotiate. And that puts negotiators in a very difficult situation.
The U.S. has already outlined other irritants, including limited American access to the Canadian dairy market and the Online Streaming Act, which brings American platforms under Canadian broadcast rules.
We've made some counter proposals, which they're aware, and the time will come to really roll up our sleeves.
At the powerful House Ways and Means Committee, U.S. Trade Representative Jameson Greer said the bigger issue is that the two countries have opposing philosophies on trade.
They're doubling down on globalization when we're trying to correct for the problems of globalization. So those are two models that don't fit together very well.
But part of the reason that Canada is looking for other trading partners is because of the trade war launched by the U.S. Mike LeCouteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
A reminder to start your day in the know with the CTV Kitchener newsletter. From our newsroom right to your inbox every morning, it's a look at the top stories of the day, the latest forecast, and some must-see videos. Sign up over on our website, ctvnewskitchener.ca. On this Earth Day, we're heading to Brantford to take a look at a new initiative to prevent food waste. CTV's Karis Map will tell us about an effort to make sure more meals don't get tossed aside.
And the cost of a Guelph mother's fight to help her son find his voice, the pricey therapy that's needed, and how the community is stepping up. That story is just ahead.
Even though it was t-shirt weather today, you're going to need a coat if you're headed out through the overnight hours, with temperatures dipping down to 1. Details on how long the warmth, though, will last coming up with your full weather forecast. Stay with us.
Who killed Joshua Bennett? Found dead on a Kitchener trail in 2021.
I'm sorry that happened to him and I was not there.
More than 4 years later, police and family still searching for answers.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. ctvkitchener.ca, your home for news. When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400. From your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Daniel P. Reeve is responsible for one of the largest financial fraud cases ever in Waterloo Region, raising millions in a Ponzi-like scheme involving more than 40 victims. He was found guilty in 2017 and sentenced to 14 years behind bars. Now, as CTV's Heather Senerin tells us, he has tried and failed to have that conviction overturned.
We're here to do the right thing.
Former financial advisor Daniel P. Reeve lured his victims with the promise of low-risk investments. But according to the appeal court, he used the money for his own purposes. From 2007 to 2009, the appeal court said he raised more than $12 million from 41 investors, all while living a lavish lifestyle with fancy cars. By the time his Ponzi scheme collapsed, he owed the victims over $10 million. And in 2017, he was found guilty of fraud and theft. Reeve was released from prison in 2020, but filed an appeal to set aside his conviction. His main issue was the wording of the charge, which referred to his victims as the public. In the appellant's view, there was no broader solicitation of the public sufficient to sustain a conviction for defrauding the public, said the appeal court's decision. Reeve argued that a fraud on the public must involve a fraudulent solicitation directed to the public at large or a particular segment of the public. He argued that the alleged frauds involved 41 complainants who came to the appellant through varied means, including as longtime clients, via referrals from family or friends, or by attending the appellant's seminars or speaking engagements. Reeve claimed that each investment was different and had varied results, but his appeal has now been dismissed. There is no merit to this argument, the decision stated, noting that victims were regularly grouped together and were interconnected through their victimization. The decision saying that Reeve found it necessary to develop more than one Ponzi scheme in order to keep his companies afloat, fund his lifestyle, or make payments to his ex-wife. Reeve's lawyer also argued the trial judge erred in his treatment of expert evidence, specifically a forensic accounting report they deemed unreliable. But the Ontario Court of Appeal disagreed, saying these were findings that were the trial judge's to make, and we see no reversible error. Heather Centerin, CTV News Kitchener.
A Guelph mother says she's facing a growing financial burden when it comes to helping her young son find his voice. Her 4-year-old has a rare neurological condition that makes it difficult to speak, and much of the therapy he needs is not covered by provincial health care. CTV's Spencer Turcotte's back from Guelph after speaking with the family. Spencer, they're hoping the province will consider helping others like them.
Well, they're sharing their story as they try to find a way to support their 3 other boys while paying for vital therapy sessions to help 4-year-old Jace communicate. Jace Goldberg is a curious, energetic 4-year-old with plenty to say, but getting the words out isn't easy.
The brain knows what it wants to say, but it has trouble communicating to the mouth, the jaw, the tongue.
Jace has childhood apraxia of speech, a rare motor speech disorder that affects how the brain plans and coordinates the movements needed to talk. His mother says there were early signs.
I noticed that he just wouldn't babble, he just wouldn't make noises or sounds or anything.
By 3 years old, Jace was diagnosed. He understands what's happening around him, but struggles to respond, relying on gestures and a handful of words to communicate.
Ready?
Jace has been getting some speech therapy through Kids Ability, which is covered by OHIP, but that won't last much longer.
When they hit JK in most regions, they have to stop those services as they become part of the education system in Ontario.
Speech-language pathologist Brooke Ray has been working with Jace for more than a year. His parents knew time was running out for the provincially funded therapy. But the tricky thing about private therapy is it costs more than $100 per session multiple times each week.
If you were learning how to serve a tennis ball and you only practice once a week for 10 minutes, you can imagine it would take you a really long time to feel comfortable doing that. So speech is kind of the same thing for him.
So far, Jace has shown significant improvements.
We're gonna say goodbye to Spencer first. Bye-bye. The fact that I never heard mama, which is probably the most easiest word to say until about 6 months ago. Seeing him be able to say up or go or mama, it's the best thing in the world.
But now Jace's family finds themselves in a tricky position. They're worried they won't be able to continue paying for his therapy.
And it's sometimes scary to even think, how are we going to afford everything?
They hope sharing Jace's story raises awareness about childhood apraxia of speech and that the province reconsiders how long families are eligible for financial support. CTV News did reach out to the Ministry of Health for comment, but we did not receive a response in time for air.
Are we going to block him?
Jace's mom says she won't give up on her son one day being able to speak up for himself. And to help raise awareness and cover ongoing therapy costs, the family recently held a fundraiser. About $15,000 came from it, a good buffer, but Tony, one that won't last forever.
Okay, Spencer, thank you for that. CTV's Spencer Turcotte live with us with that report. A new study is taking a closer look at the obstacles that pregnant physicians face with an increased workload and shorter parental leaves. As CTV's health reporter Pauline Chan tells us, the findings could help in other fields as well.
I was on 3 medications for nausea, showing up to work, operating.
Hennicumber River obstetrician Dr. Lynn Sterling worked during both of her pregnancies.
I was working until the day before. My first delivery, I was literally in the operating room the day before. And then the second time around, I stopped work about 10 days before the birth.
And a new study shows many pregnant physicians, including Sterling, increase their workload in the first 2 trimesters, easing back only in the 3rd trimester.
The study looked at the work activity of almost 4,000 doctors who experienced almost 6,000 pregnancies.
Overall, physicians took short parental leaves, with surgeons returning the earliest, around 19 weeks after delivery. The longest parental leaves didn't really exceed 8 months. So most people in Canada who take parental leave take a minimum of 9 to 12 months. So this is shorter than most Canadians.
Medicine has a bit of a culture of pushing through. Right.
Sterling says the most challenging part of working while pregnant was the 24-hour on-call shifts a few times a month.
It is physically demanding. You're on your feet. You don't know when your break is. You don't know when you get to rest. You know, it's also very technically demanding with your hands, your body, your ability to safely get a baby out in an emergency is just critical.
Dr. Andrea Simpson, who has worked through 3 parental leaves, says it's a systemic problem in which there's little wiggle room.
Quite frankly, there aren't enough physicians to fill the gaps when a physician goes on leave. So I think it points to opportunities from a population planning standpoint. When we're thinking about doctor supply, about half of physicians practicing in Canada are women. And we have to anticipate that at some point they will be taking parental leaves, and how are we going to ensure adequate supply to sustain patient care?
Gradual returns to work and better lactation facilities are just some of the things that could help. And while her study looked at a particular group of working women, she believes some of the findings can apply to other fields in which women are a growing part of the workforce. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
The British Parliament has approved a bill banning anyone born after 2008 from ever buying cigarettes. And advocates on this side of the pond say the move will save lives.
We would like to see it. We already, in fact, have consultation documents and consideration by Prince Edward Island and by Newfoundland and Labrador. PEI already has minimum age 21 instead of the 19 or 18 that we see in other provinces.
Once the bill gets royal assent, it will also give the British government powers to ban smoking in outdoor places, such as playgrounds and outside schools and hospitals. The new law is part of a series of measures aimed at combating the health effects of smoking, one of the leading causes of preventable death in the UK. And we are going live outside right now for this look at a nice sunny Wednesday evening, capping off a pretty beautiful day today. As Ash and I were mentioning earlier, the word patio has been on everyone's mind today, and might have to put that thought on ice this weekend, but we'll get Ashley back in here in just a couple of moments to let us know what the deal is with the weather over the next several days. Also coming up, when pet grooming is about both love and learning, CTV's Alexandra Hollick looks at a new program that's giving students, pets, and pet parents a benefit. And next, a chance to try to get some of the hottest tickets in town for this summer. All right, first of all, obsessed with that color.
Thank you.
Looks great, very, very spring and fresh and bright.
I think there's a Mean Girls reference there somewhere. If you know, you know. So.
What is it? We wear pink on Wednesdays?
No, we wear pink on Wednesdays.
And we apparently reveal our age on Wednesdays as well with a Mean Girls reference. Love it.
Very true, Tony.
Do you know what I think anyone would love today, though, is the idea of hitting a patio tonight.
Oh,
because
my goodness.
you can. It's that kind of weather today.
At the very least, fire up your barbecue if you've got one, because it is a beautiful evening out there and continuing to be about 20 degrees at this hour. So
20 in April feels like 30.
I couldn't agree more. When I'm wearing a t-shirt in April without a jacket,
yes,
it's a warm day.
When you are,
yes,
it's a warm day.
I feel the cold. Let's take a look at this beautiful warm day out there from Guelph this afternoon. Dave Pettit bringing us this.
We got some Simpsons clouds.
It looks like the Simpsons cloud. You nailed it, Tony. I love it. Well, you know what? It almost feels too good to be true, just like a cartoon sometimes, because it is beautiful out there today. And good news is tomorrow is going to be almost as nice. Temperatures not expected to reach as high, but we are looking at clear skies. As we take a look at our futurecast, look, there's nothing going on. A little bit of activity near Windsor, but nowhere near us. So we aren't seeing any cloud cover. We're not getting any precipitation. We're going to have clear skies tonight. So if you're a stargazer, get out and check them out because it's going to be a perfect night for it. We will start to see a little bit of cloud cover starting to move in Thursday overnight into your Friday. And then by Friday afternoon, there's a slight chance for some precipitation. But right now across the country, looking pretty beautiful on the west coast. 14 in Victoria, 13 in Vancouver, 6 for Edmonton and Calgary, 19 in Regina, 24 in Winnipeg. That's an oddly warm day in Winnipeg. I hope you all are enjoying it. As we move a little closer to home in our nation's capital, 16 in Ottawa, 14 for Montreal, 16 and sunny in Sudbury. They've had so much rain and flood warnings over the last few days. I'm sure they're very grateful for a nice sunny afternoon. St. John's is seeing a bit of rain and 2 degrees this hour, but here in Waterloo Region, we're sitting at 19, so still very almost patio-like, as Tony mentioned a little earlier. 21 in Windsor, so very warm still just a bit south of us. Overnight, though, temperatures are going to dip to where they should be for this time of year. 1 is the expected low with a 20-kilometer-an-hour wind. So with that little bit of wind, it might even feel a little cooler. So we are still in spring. You're definitely going to need a jacket when you head out, if you're heading out overnight. Tomorrow, as I mentioned, a very nice day ahead. 17 is the expected daytime high with a high UV index of 7. So if you are going to spend any time outdoors, I recommend maybe a bit of sunscreen and a hat with that high UV index. Just a reminder, normal for this time of year, 13 degrees. So 21, much warmer than we're normal for this time. And 1 for our overnight low is just lower than our 3 degrees. So not too bad. But as we take a look at our 7-day forecast for Waterloo Region, sunshine continuing tomorrow and into Friday. We will see 30% chance for showers on Friday. Saturday, though, temperatures taking a slight dip below seasonal at 8 degrees with some showers. A mix of sun and cloud to round off the weekend, and temperatures rebounding to 14. So just Saturday might be a little bit wet out there. Thursday in Lambton, Kent, Essex, we'll see sun and cloud and 21, 19 on Friday with showers returning for Saturday and a high of 14, but sun returning on Sunday. And lastly, in southern Georgian Bay, a mainly sunny day ahead for you on Thursday with 11 degrees as your daytime high, 12 for Friday, 10 for Saturday with a 60% chance for showers, and then not a bad way to finish off the weekend, 12 with a mix of sun and cloud. Okay, let's take a look at today's Weather Watcher picture sent in from Linda of this goose on its eggs, and it's that time of year. Of course, these birds are very protective of their nests, so make sure to steer clear if you spot one. But great picture, Linda. Thank you for sharing, and of course, a sign of the season.
Oh yes, good picture, but boy, you're not kidding. And you know, anyone who spends any time anywhere near Waterloo Park knows that.
Oh yeah.
That's we've got a goose population locally, and they mean business.
They do. They want their territory to themselves.
They certainly do. So always a good idea to be mindful of that when we're out enjoying this beautiful weather too. Okay, Ash, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, now turning to the FIFA World Cup, Canada, as you know, sharing hosting duties with the U.S. and Mexico. Games are happening in Toronto and Vancouver this summer. Today, a new batch of tickets went on sale. CTV's Adrian Gobriel looks at the growing excitement and the scramble to get them.
And for Canada! The beautiful game has some fans calling a foul on FIFA for the rollout of tickets leading up to the World Cup.
I think we're seeing a sort of chaotic approach to ticketing and ticket prices, ticket releases.
FIFA has slowly released tickets in phases. Today's drop was sold as a last-minute sale to each of the World Cup's 104 matches. So CTV News logged onto FIFA's site this morning to try and land a pair of tickets.
11:05, we have an update. It says that we're almost there. Okay, it's now 11:35, and I'm being told that the position in the queue is secured. Don't move, with an exclamation mark.
So we waited and waited.
It's now 2 o'clock. It's been 3 hours. I'm not even halfway through the queue. I'm almost there, according to the website. But I'm going to miss my deadline, so we're out.
I think it might well be that we see, high demand from domestic supporters, but whether it will reflect the sort of global support that we typically see at these tournaments, that might be another question.
The author of The Complete History of the World Cup, Rob Fielder, notes that some fans believe the phased rollout of ticket availability is FIFA simply creating an artificial scarcity in an effort to drive up prices.
It feels very cynical on FIFA's part and very commercial. And I think what they would say is they're trying to act in the best interests of the global game.
CTV News reached out to FIFA for a comment. They've yet to respond. A report released in the New York Times this week reports that FIFA is struggling to sell tickets for the U.S. Men's World Cup opener, claiming that as of April 10th, just over 40,000 tickets were purchased. The stadium's capacity is nearly 70,000. Though on this day, many of those waiting online to get their hands on a coveted ticket were left with less than a winning feeling.
Now, today's ticket release comes just as Toronto police are warning footy fans of potential scams. They're telling fans to use authorized ticket retailers as if you can manage to get your hands on a pair. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Toronto.
The shuffle for summer vacation plans. Just ahead, how rising costs are reshaping summertime traditions. With summer just around the corner, many Canadians are planning vacations. But with travel demand shifting and costs climbing, industry experts say flexibility and staying closer to home may be the key to getting away this summer. CTV's Rita Ismail explains.
Summer travel plans are being reshaped by rising cost and changing attitudes. A new poll from Ledger shows Canadians are pulling back from trips to the U.S., citing everything from politics to safety concerns.
The political environment that's getting people, concerned. I think there's still people haven't forgotten or forgiven Mr. Trump and some of the things he said about Canada or some of his associates.
The survey found 67% of Canadians point to political tensions, while 61% to trade issues, and nearly 60% say they no longer feel safe traveling south of the border. Instead, more Canadians are staying closer to home.
The stay in Canada trend is there. And in fact, I would suggest that there's a bit of evidence because the airlines recently announced they're canceling some flights temporarily, maybe for the summer. And those flights were going, I think, into the U.S. predominantly.
Air Transat is cutting hundreds of flights this summer, blaming soaring jet fuel prices linked to the war in Iran. Even so, the desire to travel hasn't disappeared.
We're seeing even a little bit of a pickup of people wanting to get out and travel. And certainly we're seeing, that pickup and that interest to travel again within the country.
For many travelers, it all comes down to the cost.
We do consider traveling in the summertime, usually Europe, but even the States. It just depends where we can find the best deal. But yeah, we're open to traveling. We typically make a budget anyways to have trips throughout the year. So we just account for it and do what we got to do for our family.
At the same time, London's airport is seeing an opportunity with more domestic travel options expanding.
Being able to travel right from home, save money on gas, save money on parking, maybe a hotel night or two, it all adds up at the end of the day. So there is a lot of good options to save some money by flying right here from home.
YXU is expanding its seasonal service for the summer, adding 5 daily Air Canada flights to Toronto, up to 3 daily WestJet flights to Calgary, and new WestJet service to Winnipeg 3 times a week. Rita Ismail, CTV News.
All right, look at our top stories now with Leanne Evans. And the hearing continued today for a Guelph police constable who admitted to an on-duty assault.
Yeah, Tony, a lawyer for the Guelph Police Service made the case today that it should be able to dismiss Corey McArthur. The arguments come almost 10 years after the incident in question at Guelph General Hospital. The Guelph police lawyer described McArthur's actions as egregious and says it would harm public trust if he's allowed to return to frontline police work. Both sides will return on Thursday when McArthur's defense will give reply submissions to what the police services lawyer said today. The former financial advisor responsible for one of the largest financial fraud cases ever in Waterloo Region had the appeal of his conviction dismissed. Daniel P. Reeve raised millions in a Ponzi-like scheme and was found guilty of fraud in 2017. He filed an appeal to set aside his conviction, saying the wording of the charge, which referred to his victims as the public. Instead, his lawyers said the alleged victims were clients or referrals from friends. The Ontario Court of Appeal released its decision this week, saying there is no merit to this argument.
And on our website, Leanne, the Ontario Review Board granting a Kitchener woman an absolute discharged.
In 2021, she was found not criminally responsible for the murder of her 8-month-old baby. A hearing by the board for the matter was held last month. To find out how it came to its decision, you can go to our website, scan the QR code, download the CTV News app, or go to ctvnewskitchener.ca. Tony.
Okay, Leanne Evans with a look at our top stories. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Low-cost pet grooming services are now being offered at Conestoga College. It's part of a new program that aims to give students hands-on experience while also focusing on affordability. CTV's Alexandra Hollick gives us a look.
At Conestoga College, pampering your pet is now more affordable, thanks to a new pet grooming program that's wrapping up its inaugural year.
So it's a one-year certificate as a pet groomer. They essentially take things from skin and coat to animal behavior and handling and first aid, as well as self-care, business.
After a few weeks in class, it's all hands on deck, featuring local furry friends who could use a fresh do.
I mean, who best to have come in but real dogs and cats that need grooming services.
A shampoo, shower, and shave runs you around $20.
We have $10, $15, or $20 ranges. It's not based on the size of the dog, it's just based on what we're planning to do with that dog and what services we're offering. Cats are exactly the same.
The low cost comes with a high reward.
It's good for the owner, it's good for the dog, and like the students, like I said, like it's the best way to learn.
I think it's amazing to be able to charge low to help people who like need it and can't get it, and then we get all this experience, and I don't think you can learn this career without having that experience.
The salon also offers free services for cats and dogs at local shelters and rescues.
Hopefully that will enhance their opportunity for adoption, by being professionally groomed.
Providing a positive experience for pets.
Hi, sweet girl. You look beautiful.
And prospective pet groomers.
It really does show the students that this is a rewarding career. You can really reach out to your community and help so many, not only people, but pets.
With a new cohort of students expected to come in next month, pet owners may have to wait a few weeks before bringing their furry friends in for a trim. Those interested can fill out an intake form on Conestoga College's website. Alexandra Hollick, CTV News, Kitchener.
A publicity stunt that isn't going over well with emergency services. Just ahead, the ice block fiasco in Toronto drips away into a memory. A day after the mystery of Drake's new album release date was uncovered inside a big ice sculpture, the publicity stunt is still getting attention. Fire crews spent the day dousing the massive ice block, which was deemed a safety risk. CTV's Beth McDonnell has more.
It's a melting publicity stunt showered in attention. For 14 hours, fire trucks soaked the massive ice block with warm water, now deemed a safety risk. The installation built to promote the release date of Toronto rapper Drake's new album, Iceman.
This is ridiculous, using all this water, flooding the area.
For 3 days, people have been gathering near Sankofa Square to take selfies and see it firsthand. Some witnessing the moment of that release date before people pulled out blowtorches, pickaxes, and climbed on top of the structure, causing police to manage crowds.
People carrying around pickaxes in the city, probably not the best thing. And I think it is a waste of water and money now at this point because they are using the fire department to melt it down.
With so many resources deployed, the debate is now flowing over who should pay for the big cleanup.
The city can do it. Like, Drake did this for the city, and we're all happy that he did it.
I think Drake should pay for it. He's clearly got the money for it. He did it.
I think no one, I think we should let nature do its work and let it melt on its own.
Fire crews say the goal with all the spraying was to remove any hazard. The city says as the ice was set up on private property, no permit was needed, and the response to fire safety risks are funded through the city's budget.
It is our responsibility to make sure people are safe, and I want to thank the police and the fire department to make sure people are safe.
What people do agree on, the staged event is a spectacle for the ages.
Well, honestly, I think it's an amazing marketing stunt for sure. He got the attention he needed, but again, it's a lot of water, it's drawn a lot of crowds, a lot of resources as well, so definitely a waste of money.
It's kind of crazy. I mean, every single day is different. One day there's people standing on top, one day there's people trying to light it on fire.
And one day spent trying to shrink the ice structure all away.
All right, and that was CTV's Beth McDonnell reporting. We'll have more news in a moment. First, though, Ashley, not a lot of ice hanging around anymore this week.
Thankfully, that is the case, Tony. Hopefully, Mother Nature helps Toronto out a little bit, and those firefighters can get back to doing what they should be doing instead of melting ice. But as for here, we're going to wake up to a pretty nice day tomorrow. I'll have those details after this break. Stay with us. Start your night off with E-Talk at 7, followed by The Big Bang Theory. Then MasterChef at 8, followed by The Floor at 9, and cap your night off with Shark Tank at 10.
Tonight, new friction as trade tensions build.
It's not a case of the United States dictates the terms.
The deepening disputes over Canada's dairy market and U.S. alcohol restrictions. We'll have that story and more later on CTV National News and watch on Crave.
99.5 has the music you just can't quit. Home of Bounce Mornings with Angie Hill and Sarge. KW's Bounce 99.5. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400. From your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Okay, let's check in with Leanne one more time to see what we're following for later tonight. Leanne.
Well, Tony, OHL Eastern Conference Finals getting underway tonight when the Brantford Bulldogs face off against the Barrie Colts in Game 1 of their best-of-7 series. Both clubs have been dominant throughout the postseason, setting the stage for what is expected to be a contentious conference final. And puck drop just moments away at the TD Civic Center. We will be gathering post-game reaction from fans and have that for you at 11:30. Tony.
We sure will. Okay, Leanne, thank you so much. Ash is here with our wake-up weather for Thursday. We are just cruising through this week.
Not bad. And tomorrow is going to be just as beautiful. It might not be as warm, but the skies will be clear. And you know what? That sun coming out, it will feel just as great.
Makes all the difference, doesn't it?
Huge difference. Let's take a look at what we're expecting first thing tomorrow morning. Already 3 degrees by 6 a.m. and 11 by 10. So, Tony, overall, looking like it will be almost another patio day.
I predict it will be. You know, you'll see some of them open up this week, maybe like a soft launch kind of week.
I think so.
And then everyone will go running and hiding on Saturday.
Yes, because Saturday is going to be a bit cold.
We'll hope that next week brings some nicer weather. But
fingers crossed.
Let's focus on next week. Yeah. Before we let you go tonight, though, we have a story to share about thinking about others and conserving, and because today's Earth Day,
of course.
After all, the 22nd of April. One sustainability partnership is preventing food waste while helping feed those most in need.
Brantford General Hospital has paired up with a local outreach program to ensure no meal is wasted and nobody goes hungry. CTV's Karis Matt has more.
These are just some of the meals patients at Brantford General Hospital are fed, but not all will be consumed on site due to dietary needs and preferences.
We try to forecast as best we can, but as a result of that process and variance in patient population, we do have some overproduction.
Instead of sending uneaten meals off to the landfill,
we're able to identify the Brantford Blessing Center as a prime candidate for meal donations.
The outreach program, run by a group of local churches, has been operating for over 40 years.
Every day we cook and we give a hot meal, but then we give enough sustainability for the next day, and that's where the hospital meals really come into game changer for us.
The prepackaged meals are nutritional and give choices to those in need.
It could be, a pasta with a vegetable. It could be a pork or chicken, but they're all labeled, which gives our clients dignity of choice.
Once the meals arrive at the Brantford Blessing Centre, they're kept in the fridges behind me for people to browse. Organizers here say last year alone, the hospital provided roughly 7,000 meals, which helped feed their community. And they don't stay on the shelves for long.
We pick up from the hospital every Wednesday and Sunday, and by the time the next pickup comes, we don't have any meals left over. Sometimes it lasts a day or two, sometimes it is gone in one night.
With hopes of giving more and wasting less this year.
Not only just meal donations, but also working with opportunities to, improve our forecasting, improving our recycling capabilities.
Full meals aren't the only things being donated by the hospital. Any excess food is being used to help combat food insecurity in the area.
Rent, housing has gone up, so if you're in a tenancy and then you're moving out and rent's double on people, they're finding it difficult to pay the bill. Do I pay hydro or do I buy groceries?
Since the partnership began in 2024, over 101,000 pounds of food have been diverted from the dump. Kara Smap, CTV News, Brantford.
Well, conservation comes in many different forms, and of course, food waste is a big topic when we talk about the hunger crisis. But I wanted to touch on the fact that it is Earth Day. It doesn't seem like it gets the same amount of attention as it did back in the 90s. Remember
when we were in school, we used to do, we were talking about this earlier, we used to do field trips where we picked up trash from local parks and
or had tree plantings or what have you. I mean, it was just it was nice today to have the kind of day that reminds us that the earth is such a beautiful place. The sun shining out there, spring, everything coming alive. We should all do our part to pitch in.
I agree.
And keep things clean and tidy. Well, that's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us, and don't forget to join us tonight at 11:30, right after the CTV National News at 11. We'll see you then. Have a good night.